Hi guys! Thanks for clicking on my video. You've probably made a grave error, but it's too late now! Please take a second to like, subscribe, and comment something, literally anything below. All that stuff helps the channel rise from the pit of despair which it currently occupies. This is my video on the top 10 greatest games of all time. Most of them are JRPGs, because those are the best games! Now let's start with the honorable mentions. Shenmue, available for Sega Dreamcast, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. The game opens in 1980s Japan with our hero Ryu rushing home to find the housemaid Ine-san concussed and your father's apprentice Fuku-san getting thrown out as if he just let off a deadly fart in the dojo and didn't warn anybody first. Ryu's dad is then smoked by Landy's awesome moves, and your father's secret treasure, the Dragon Mirror, is taken. Ryu gets his ass handed to him and awakens after some time, immediately seeking revenge for his father's murder. Ryu is now stuck, living alone with a spooky old lady and a farting sociopath. Your job is to investigate who Landy is and why he came to kill your father. This game is among the very first of its kind. A fairly open-world sandbox where you go around, talking to people, interacting with objects, and getting lost having fun, instead of doing what you're supposed to be doing! I really love this game because instead of avenging my dear deceased father, I'd rather be playing video games down at the U-Arcade on Dobuita Street, or wasting Ine-san's hard-earned yen on little collectibles at the toy dispenser down the road from Sakuragaoka Park. I can also spend hours seeing how much Jet Cola Ryu's poor stomach lining can handle. Hades, available for Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and PC. This game is akin to your most deadly and addictive narcotics. But instead of ruining your entire life and leaving you a hopeless, weeping mess, this game actually improves your life. It invigorates your soul and gives you a new lease on life. I'm pretty sure if the people sweating it out in rehab played this puppy, they'd kick their prior habits in no time. You play as Zagreus, the son of Hades, lord of the underworld, who is desperate to escape the not-so-cozy confines. You'll die and die and die and die some more, but you'll certainly look over at the clock at 2 a.m. and say to yourself, just one more run, baby. The controls are tight, and the colorful graphics pop in this roguelike action RPG. The story's very good here, as well as the NPCs who track your progress across your various deaths. This indie gem is a must-play. Those are just 2 of a dozen other games I could have included as my honorable mentions. But before we get into the top 10, I gotta say that these are just my top 10 games of all time. There is no official top 10 list out there. But don't let that stop you from commenting your top 10 games of all time below. I'm sure I'm not the only one who wants to see other people's rankings and put different, highly praised games on my backlog. Now, let's twist it up! Final Fantasy XII, available for the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and PC. Have you ever wanted to play a game by not playing it? Well, you can! Because the 10th greatest game of all time doesn't require you to do a damn thing! This game consists of combat priorities, or gambits, which is set in the menu for each character. This means that they'll follow their set priorities from one to the next, like a responsible adult. How refreshing! Speaking of priorities, mine are about as straight as this guy. The main protagonist is this dude, Vaughn. After the first few hours of gameplay, he may as well be deleted from your memory. He won't matter anymore. The real heroes are every other party member that accompanies you. Bosch, Ash, Balthier, and Fran have excellent backstory which drives the plot the rest of the game. Vaughn and his apparent girlfriend Penelo are basically along for the ride, serving as no more than a way for the audience to learn about the world, plot, and characters alongside them. This is clever and it mostly works. However, you're constantly wondering to yourself, what purpose do these 2 kids actually serve here? It's none. The answer is none. This doesn't ruin the game, though. Far from it! Despite doing mostly nothing in combat as your gambits do all the work for you, the battle system encourages so much tinkering and improving your damage output that you'll be lost in the act of kicking monsters' asses for hours. If that isn't enough, the story is very good here too. It takes place in Ivalice, which is the same location as Final Fantasy Tactics and Vagrant's story. You'll notice very loose allusions to these other games if you've played them, but that's about it. So you don't need to play them first. The Zodiac Age is the definitive way to play this game. You have the ability to speed up combat and overall gameplay in this game, which is a must. Otherwise, you'll take forever playing it. There is also the improvement of the original license board, which encourages even more customization. This is an excellent game. Don't miss out on this absolute gem. Dragon Quest VIII, available for PlayStation 2, Nintendo 3DS, Android, and iOS. Ah yes, a game with a nameless hero. This is really the only part of the game I dislike. Can I just get a name for this guy? Jeff? Carl? Mohammed? I'm not a huge fan of your closest companions and love interests throughout the game alluding to the main character as you. Or him. It's as if you're at your own intervention, and everyone's talking to each other about you destroying your life, and in turn their lives, as if you can't hear them at all! Dragon Quest VIII is a textbook definition of comfort game. Anyone can enjoy this one. I'd recommend this game mostly to fans of the Final Fantasy series that are disappointed in the direction that the series has gone over the last 15 years. Turn-based, classic RPGs are alive and well, and Dragon Quest is front and center. With the classic Akira Toriyama art style, turn-based combat, and wonderful story, you'll be asking yourself how this masterpiece is still stuck back on the PS2 and 3DS. Give me this baby in modern Dragon Quest XI graphics, and I'd be spinning back-fisting my way to the front of the midnight release line. The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, available for the Nintendo Switch and Wii U. Have you ever wanted to eat enough food for an entire village in the span of seconds to heal yourself after getting stabbed in the face by a terrible monster? Well, you're in luck! This is it right here! The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild allows Link to eat and eat and eat and eat and never once take a shit. Not once did I have to run behind a rock or into a cave to have a blowout from stuffing my maw full of 50 pounds of dubious food. I swear, Link's metabolism is the real hero of Hyrule. It's built like Calamity Ganon himself. Breath of the Wild is essentially an open-world game similar to Skyrim or Witcher 3, where Link can go almost anywhere, climb almost anything, and talk to almost everyone. There is treasure, monsters, quests hidden all over Hyrule. This is an easy 100+ hour time sink, but in a really good way. You'll love every minute you're running around Hyrule figuring out exactly what happened to leave it in this dystopian state. The people feel real in Hyrule. The problems weigh on you as heavily as they weigh on our NPC friends. You actually want to fix Hyrule and return it to its former glory. This is the very best of Zelda, and Link's greatest adventure can't be missed. The Elder Scrolls IV: Oblivion. Available for Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and Steam.
Close shut the jaws of Oblivion.
No words have ever caused my cheeks to clench harder. The quests and characters are so creative and hilarious that I can't help but follow them into their rat-infested skooma dens for hours on end. Yeah, Oblivion doesn't have Skyrim's combat or its improved graphics, but its world and NPCs are far more interesting. The quests are entertaining and well written. Every guild or faction has a purpose, and their quest lines hit you with awesome quest after awesome quest. Whodunit may be the single greatest side quest I've ever played in any game to this day. The Witcher 3: Wild Hunt. Available for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Want to get caught in a love triangle that probably won't ever happen to you in real life? Count me in! Triss or Yennefer? Who could say which is best? The mere feeling of having two several hundred-year-old witches fighting for my love is the cherry on top of this game. I've read the books and watched the show, and I can confidently say that this is by far the greatest medium to enjoy the story of The Witcher Geralt. The combat is great, the graphics still hold up well today, and the voice acting is top-notch. You'll be riding around on Roach, roaming the countryside for more quests and monsters to kill well past the 100-hour mark. For a game that is almost always on mega sale, you can't go wrong with The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Final Fantasy VII, available for the PlayStation, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, Android, iOS, and PC. What most feel is the greatest game of all time is only 5th greatest on my list. I can hear you saying it now. This was the JRPG that paved the way for so many JRPGs after it. Yeah, I don't think so. Did the frozen chicken nugget pave the way for the McChicken? Maybe. As a matter of fact, I can't go 2 days without a respectable Uber Eats driver delivering a delicious, nutritious McDonald's McChicken to my very doorstep. But Backstage Mage, you ask. What does that have to do with Final Fantasy VII? Well,
Stop!
Final Fantasy VII was one of the first JRPGs I ever played. My little prepubescent thumbs were blasting through the dialogue of the sci-fi story before I knew anything about love, friendship, or climate change. Even after beating this game countless times as a kid, I still return to it and give it a playthrough every now and again. The graphics are pretty rough, but the turn-based combat, exploration, and story sure hold up. Final Fantasy VII may not be my greatest game of all time, but it is a must-play masterpiece that simply cannot be put aside. Final Fantasy X, available for PlayStation 2, PlayStation Vita, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and PC. I like the laugh part, guys. It makes me uncomfortable, but in a good way. Kind of like when you see your parents kissing or a baby being born. You just can't look away. Final Fantasy X exploded onto the JRPG scene shortly after PlayStation 2 first hit store shelves. This is the turn-based swan song of the Final Fantasy series. Since then, the series has slowly deflated into a wet plastic bag in a Wendy's parking lot. The graphics hold up fairly well, and the cutscenes are still beautiful to this day. The story is among the very best in the series, and will keep you invested until the emotional ending. This is solid gold in gaming form. With so many ways to play it these days, you're running out of excuses on why you haven't. Chrono Trigger, available for Super Nintendo, PlayStation, Nintendo DS, iOS, Android, and PC. These top three are so close to each other that they're practically interchangeable, so don't get too much of a wedgie if your favorite isn't first. Time travel, Akira Toriyama, an incredible soundtrack, a giant space crab hell-bent on feeding from deep within the planet for millennia until Armageddon in 1999.
Please, sir. I want some more.
Hell yes! This is a masterpiece which honestly needs no remake or remaster. But do I want one?
You're goddamn right.
Chrono Trigger is a dream project created by Hironobu Sakaguchi, Yuji Horii, Akira Toriyama, and Yasunori Mitsuda. Never again will we peasants be this close to royalty.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy! We're not worthy! We're scum! We suck!
Chrono Trigger blends your classic SNES-era sprites with turn-based combat and enemy encounters right there on the world terrain. The music is timeless and hypnotic, making you feel as if you're right there alongside our heroes. There are a lot of Chrono Trigger imitators out there, but they honestly don't hold a candle to it. It is one of one. Final Fantasy Tactics. Available for PlayStation, PSP, iOS, and Android. How has this game not been ported to modern consoles by now? If it weren't for this game, my PSP would have long ago got on Tinder and taken another lover. However, I can't leave my girl for too long. Therefore, she stays by my side knowing I'll always come back from my trips to the gas station for cigarettes or milk. As long as Final Fantasy Tactics doesn't get ported, my PSP's virtually safe from getting freaking bricked. This remains the greatest strategy RPG ever made. Its story, gameplay, and customization are better than Fire Emblem, Tactics Ogre, and Triangle Strategy combined. This game is almost 30 years old and remains the best in the genre. It is a timeless classic that every single gamer should experience at least once. We need this on modern consoles now. Final Fantasy IX. Available for PlayStation, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, iOS, Android, and PC. Here it is, the greatest game ever made. Yeah, I have 5 Final Fantasies on the list. And yes, I've played other games. Believe me. Early Final Fantasy was just that good. Final Fantasy IX is here for a few reasons, mostly because it totally rocks. But it's also here because it introduced me to a completely different type of game I never knew existed. JRPGs. After I played Final Fantasy IX, my entire gaming journey officially began. I played everything from Grandia to Castlevania instead of just Mario and Sonic. Final Fantasy IX returns to the series' roots with medieval turn-based combat, specialized classes for each character, and several story beats that harken back to the first games in the series. This is not only a love letter to the past, but a shining beacon for the future of JRPGs. Hopefully Final Fantasy will return to their roots and discover what made them great. Look no further than Final Fantasy IX, the very greatest of them all. Well, that's it. My top 10 games of all time. If you're still watching this, that means you haven't gone mad. Now, if you wouldn't mind liking, subscribing, and commenting something, preferably positive, below, I'd appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Oh, and don't forget to twist it up.